just fired Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe claims victim status, seeking to join that elusive hood of crooks who feign innocence when they're caught dead to right, claiming his downfall is a result of a series of attacks designed to undermine his credibility and reputation. Andy, I don't know how to break this to you, but the only reason you're even in the news is because you're a liar. And when you lie under oath and to the FBI, you're a wrongdoer, you're a cheat, and you're an offender. So, McCabe, are you a crook too? Consider this. General Michael Flynn, who put his life on the line every day in the military, lied to the FBI about something that wasn't even criminal. And now he's a convicted felon. Martha Stewart lied to the FBI, and she is a convicted felon who went to jail. So you lie not only to the FBI, but to the Inspector General and under oath, and you were even given an opportunity to take it back, but you still lie. So they're crooks, but you're not? You're in the news because the Office of Professional Responsibility, after the Inspector General's investigation, says you made unauthorized disclosures to the news media, and you lack candor. You lied about the Clinton Foundation investigation, and you leaked information to the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times, which you're not authorized to do. But we shouldn't be surprised. Your boss, Jim Comey, also leaked information to get to the New York Times because he didn't have the guts to stand up and say what he wanted to say himself. And you think you're being targeted? You're not that important. Nobody's looking to bring you down. But your wife gets $700,000 from the Clinton cash machine, and you handle the Clinton email investigation. A 5-year-old could see the ethical conflict of interest. And we entrust you with the power of the greatest law enforcement agency in the nation, and you not only use it to your own advantage, you use it to your political and financial advantage. And everyone knows that when you lie to the FBI, it results in automatic dismissal. Now, you claim that your firing is part of an effort to undermine the special counsel's Russia investigation. You know what? The only Russia investigation that should be going on should be one looking into Hillary and that whole gang for the Russian sale of uranium to Russia. But it's going to get worse for you, Andy, when your sidekick, Peter Strzok, and his girlfriend are called on the carpet for their criminality. You lied about your relationship with Strzok, who worked for you, while the three of you tried to affect both the presidential primary and take down a duly elected president by starting a Donald Trump Russia inquiry, when the only person who colluded with the Russians was your girlfriend Hillary, your friend Barack, and the CFIUS Committee of Clinton Foundation associates that approved the sale of 20% of our uranium to Russia with a payback to Hillary. Now, there were 3 pending federal inquiries into your actions as well while you were in the FBI. And you were removed from your post almost 2 months ago when the new FBI director saw evidence regarding your activities. And the intrigue continues. While you threaten Jim Comey and threaten that if you go down, everyone else will, Jim Comey writes a conciliatory tweet that, quote, "You stood tall over the last 8 months and served with distinction for 2 decades," close quote. He's clearly hoping that you won't testify against him. This is a classic crime family takedown. Who is going to rat on whom? If this were the movie The Godfather, Cardinal Comey is a capo di tutti. Andrew McCabe is the enforcer. Lisa Page is both the consigliere and the gomad, and Peter Strzok is a button man. And it looks like Strzok, who signed the warrant application to the FISA court, was a close friend of Judge Contreras, who signed the warrant. It's so damning that the judge recommended a social setting where there could be a surreptitious meet with a cover of a dinner party so the judge wouldn't be required to take himself off the case. Even Bob Mueller knew enough to take Strzok off his investigation because Strzok was so dirty. Andy, you can complain all you want that you were unjustly fired, but the facts contradict that. You should have been fired a long time ago. You should lose your law license, and you should have been taken out in cuffs. Joining me now live in a Justice Exclusive, GOP House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy. Congressman, thanks so much for being on Justice tonight. What do you say regarding the fact that McCabe is fired and he's lost his pension?
Well, Judge, first of all, welcome to California. I hope you're finding that we're not all like the San Francisco values. There are a lot of conservatives of us out here. And I want to wish you a very happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, and especially in Kern County, where I saw you last night. Great Republican county.
Well, you gave a great speech, but one thing you've got to look at, and I know a lot of Democrats are out there and trying to make this a political problem, but it's not. An independent, nonpartisan inspector general found the information of McCabe lying, thought it was severe enough, even before its final report came forward, to send it to the FBI. Send it to the ethics department of the FBI, the OPR, as you said, the Office of Professional Responsibility. They are nonpartisan, independent. They looked and they believed he should be fired, because every FBI agent I know, he or she believes in integrity. There's so many people that they bring before the court that they uphold because they lie. And they did not want him to take down the own FBI integrity by lying and going forward. But one of the most interesting things I have found is post the firing, what McCabe said. Take his statement, and if I was Comey, I would be worried, because he said in there, when he leaked to the Wall Street Journal, that it was on the authority of the director and they knew they were doing it. Well, that's in direct opposite of what Comey told Congress in May 2017. When he was asked the question in regarding a Trump or a Clinton investigation, did he ever authorize anybody or leak to information? He said no, never. So we know that McCabe has lied by the independent inspector general found it, and now he's saying about Comey, Comey may have lied as well. So I don't think this is the end of it. But that is why we need a second special counsel. And I give Chairman Gowdy and Goodlatte a lot of credit and all those members. They sent that letter to Jeff Sessions. He is looking at it. But we need the ability, because an inspector general does not have subpoena power outside of the direction. So we need somebody to look at this, and not from the inside, because you can't trust what's happening right now.
Mm-hmm. You know what's interesting, Congressman, is the fact that you've got Jim Comey gone, the director of the FBI. Now you have the deputy director of the FBI. And I think that it's just a matter of time. And the amazing part of this is that we have to wait for this stuff to hit the public record before anything happens in the swamp. But it appears to me, Congressman, that Strzok and Page are next, especially with the claim of their relationship with the judge who signed the FISA warrant that was based on unverified information. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yes, and I want to give the Judiciary Committee a great deal amount of credit here, because think of this: there's more than 1.2 million pieces of paper that deal with this subject. There's only about 3,100 pieces that have been sent to the Judiciary Committee, and a lot of that was redacted. When we just now found out what was the communication and talking about that FISA court judge, that was the work of the committee member going out and finding that, because much of that is redacted. And for 5 months they have been fighting to find this information. That is a frustration, because we're separate but co-equal. Congress is supposed to oversee and hold them accountable. And if they're withholding that information, I believe a lot more information is going to come forward in the end when we get this all out in the open. And I believe the Inspector General's report, I think that's going to come out in April. Not sure when he'll get done with that. But he has uncovered so much of this, and that's independent, nonpartisan of what he's finding.
Well, and if you say, you said, 3,000 of 1.2 million?
Yes, there's only about 3,100 pages of the 1.2 million that I know have sent to the Judiciary Committee and to oversight, and much of that is redacted. And part of that, when it came to the FISA judge, was redacted, and they went through back over and found the other parts that they couldn't see and pieced it together of what they were talking about, trying to get that small dinner party of 6 people, maybe try to influence this judge. And you know from all your work in the law, a FISA court is different than any other court. And the way they went before this FISA court, knowing that Hillary Clinton paid for this in the DNC, this dossier, using that, but really not telling the FISA court, just in a footnote of why they wanted to go forward and spy. And then when you look at Steele just a couple days ago in the New Yorker saying that he did know that the Clinton and the DNC paid for it when the FBI had left that out saying they did not. That raises a great deal of questions that I think have to be answered.
Well, you know what, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, it seems like the swamp is going to be very difficult to drain, but the draining has started. Anyway, Congressman, thank you so much for being on Justice this evening.
Well, Judge, thank you so much for having me, and thanks for coming to California. You're always welcome to come back.